what's good, listeners? Welcome to the Chris College Show, Millennial Talk Show. Good morning, Marissa. How's it going, fam?
Oh my gosh, it's good. I'm kind of excited. So tomorrow I find out if I won the coaches challenge. And if I win, I get $500.
Oh, nice.
So I want the $500. So hopefully
now you can't go wrong with that. Why? Because you're lean, mean, and physique? Is that what's going on?
I actually got down to 15% body mass as of today.
Damn.
So,
hey, shit. I think I'm coming from a 30 rack to an 18 rack.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, some people, they can still make the dad bod look good. We got to thank Leonardo DiCaprio for saving a brother. But hey, that's pretty dope. I mean, the other thing that I've been seeing, all throughout this morning is Drake and 21 Savage. Have you been hearing about some of the drama that's been brewing up?
I haven't
CCS
heard
family.
Of the drama. I just
you haven't. So
I just heard about the album. That's it.
Hey, well, that's perfect because let's have a real-time live reaction to this because someone spoke out, and that is Megan Thee Stallion. Let me go ahead and share this image for everybody because there's a line in Circo Loco that says, "This bitch lie about getting shot, but she is still a stallion." Tina Snow responded back saying, "Stop using my shooting for clout, bitch ass." Won't say it. "Since when the F is it cool to joke about women getting shot? You blank, especially rap blank, are lame. Ready to boycott about shoes and clothes, but dogpile on a black woman when she says one of y'all homeboys abused her."
Mm-hmm. Snapping with
it
Stallion.
Does kind of feel like that.
It's true.
I mean, why are we still talking? This is an ongoing court process. I mean, aren't they going to feel like quite the jackasses sooner or later, Marissa, when they come to find out that Megan Thee Stallion was right?
Well, no, here's the problem. It's not even so much that she's right. A lot of the culture of hip hop is a degradation of women. And I don't care what anyone wants to say about it. I hang out in the clubs. I see it. You know what I mean? And let me tell you, I see them from music videos on forward. This is way back in the 90s when it was coming up. And women were just used as an ornament and to shake your ass. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys are on quite the tour. They know how to get the publicity, whether it's even negative, even if they're clout chasing on top of, Megan Thee Stallion. But Marissa, I also got to go ahead and show you this clip because it is so freaking hilarious. So for anybody who missed the interview with 21 Savage and Drake on the Howard Stern show this week, you guys are in for a treat. Check out this micro clip.
The two of you seem like a good match because you're into all that nerdy book shit. Didn't you guys start a nerdy book club or something?
Yeah, I love books. Savage loves to read.
Really?
He's an avid reader. He's just we'll be in the strip club.
Oh.
Backstage at the show.
Right.
In his hood, on his block and shit. He'll just pull a book out
yeah.
Charlotte's Web.
He loves Charlotte's Web.
Really?
Harry Potter too. I love him.
Okay, that's the big. Okay, again, these guys are hooting and raving about this. Marissa saying that they go to the strip club, they started their own book club. 21 Savage says, "Yeah, I'm a big fan of Charlotte's Web." And they said Harry Potter.
Charlotte's Web. I'm also a fan of Charlotte's Web. I read that.
Come on, you really read Charlotte's Web in the strip club?
I read that in elementary school, so I guess
you try to get all sappy and shit while you're in the strip club. If anything. You ain't going to be throwing paper bills out. You're going to be making it hail.
I'm going to give him, regardless of his reading choices, I'm going to give him props for actually being able to love reading. I'm a huge avid reader also. So I can totally, I have an appreciation for someone who's look, I find more of an enjoyment in reading a book than sitting here and I guess looking at strippers' asses.
I love how
I want to give it.
You out of all people would find the positive in this. I was really trying to make this into a joking matter. And you're like, you know what?
Go for it.
Now that I think about it, it's kind of like what we're going to be talking about later. No wonder millennials get their news on TikTok because there's so many fat asses and big titty women on there. Yeah, I would love to get my news on that platform, just like how I'd love to start a book club in a strip club with Drake and 21 Savage. That sounds amazing.
Quite brilliant. Actually, I think that would actually have legs. A book club and a strip club.
Marissa, I think we're on to something.
Legs. I actually like that one.
Let's bring on George R.R. Martin. We can set it up at our
he's
local strip club.
Almost done with the final book.
That's what I'm saying.
15 years later. I've been waiting. for
I
so
think,
long.
how long is it going to take to read the book? I mean, it's just more
thick.
time where we could sit in the strip club and read this jammer.
I like them thick and big. So that book better be thick and big.
That's right, Marissa. We like them thick and big, baby. Oh, that is so good. But guys, I just want to let you guys know we're beyond stoked that you're joining us here on YouTube Live. We got a great show for everyone. Joining us on Strike a Chord are Variety Magazine's top 10 Brits to watch from Scotland is Dancing on Tables. Also, our brand new episode of Off the Fret, More Music Talk podcast featuring LA pop rockers Poe the Passenger has been delayed. It will be dropping next Friday. And that is all for good reasons. The boys, Jeff and Trent, who joined me for the conversation, they've been so kind enough to send me material that I felt like would really enhance the visual experience. So shout out to those two guys. They've been so awesome. Their debut record, Alinea, has been blowing up. They got over 1 million streams. So check out that album. But if you can't wait, you gotta have to wait until next Friday. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this show on the road because we got so much going on, fam. This one's called Say It.
I'm beyond livid.
That's what's been irking me like crazy.
Psycho X.
We hope that he grows from this.
No, legit. I was trying to figure that out also.
Whatever's on our mind, there's something that's been griping.
So, I get to just say it.
That's my question, Marissa. What's good, listeners? This is Say It, because Marissa and I, we're going to be discussing news that's been circulating around the world, more in particular in the nation this week, because you got to go out and vote. This is the Millennial Vote 2022. And I keep hearing, and polls suggest, that Gen Z wave is coming, with young voters on track to match or potentially exceed the record-breaking 2018 youth turnout in a midterm election. And Harvard Law School wants you to know that they're coming.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Eunice.
Where are you off in a rush to?
HPOP actually just released their fall 2022 youth poll.
Harvard Public Opinion Project?
Sorry, everyone. Let's get started. Our fall findings just came in, and here's what they say.
It's time to talk about turnout amongst young voters. Youth turnout is on track to match 2018's historic turnout, with 40% of young Americans reporting that they will definitely be voting.
And to add on top of that, a new report found that millennials represent 1 out of 6 congressional candidates in the midterm elections, and Gen Z is on the ballot for the first time. Marissa, is that enough to make the youth go out and vote? I just don't think so. I'm a little bit skeptical. I don't think these numbers really add up. When I saw that the poll only had like 2,300 people participated, I'm like, did they only get the Harvard grads to participate in this? I mean, does that represent the rest of the nation?
I actually had a joke, but I'm going to answer your question, and I have like a dual joke. It was pretty funny.
Okay.
All right. I am dismayed at how many people don't know how important midterm elections are. They are local ordinances that get passed, stuff that directly affects where you live, how much taxes you're paying, leads into the next from the Congress and the Senate. There's so much that goes into it, and I've seen barely any ads that focus on trying to get millennials or Z-Gen out there. And that wasn't cringy. The stuff I'm seeing, I'm kind of like, how old do you think we all are? Like,
the social media stuff is very cringe. And I think you're absolutely getting onto something, Marissa. When you think about, what the millennial mindset is, do they even know who's running? What offices are up for election? And I know I can only speak for California, but the only TV commercials that we ever see being aired on, our static screen are, for dialysis, which I'm sorry, I'm going to have to break it to you, baby boomers. We don't give a shit. That's not our age demographic. Lyft and Gavin Newsom having a war of words because Lyft's saying that, we don't want to force our rideshare drivers to go electric cars by 2030, while Newsom's claiming that, this is going to be a tax grab. And then Indian tribes telling us that, sports gambling is bad on the phone because it's going to encourage kids to gamble. So even when I'm saying this, Marissa, and then you see all these cringy, dance videos, like I even saw Beto O'Rourke is doing like a cringy TikTok dance this morning, trying to tell people, to go out there and vote. Like, I guess my point is, even when you do these dance videos, we don't know necessarily what we're voting on.
I guess what my frustration is when I see people treat youth younger people, right, as idiots. Like it actually really frustrates me because that's why I hate the TikTok, the cringe. I know you have videos later on about other stuff, so I don't want to like spoil it now, but it really frustrates me because we actually like, I'm an older generation on here, but I've talked to people younger and they are smart and they can take substance, but they also like are being treated like they should just be told how to vote, not what is actually at stake.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why it is a bit alarming. And that's why, I think this is a perfect segue, Marissa, because you're already starting to jump on it. So let's go ahead and talk about it, because weeks before the midterm election, President Joe Biden invited 8 TikTok stars with a combined following of more than 67 million who were brought to the White House in hopes that their posts will turn out votes for Democrats. So you can clearly see here, President Biden's participating in the selfies. Also, we got them here inside the White House, which I don't know why. This photo gives me so much cringe. I just can't stand that they're all just so glued to their phone. And then lastly, they grab former President Barack Obama to join in and encourage the youth to go out and vote. And it turns out that the New York Times reports that a lot of the creators talked about, quote, how they didn't get a lot of civics education in school. They were excited to learn about the structure of government and see it in person. So that's why they grabbed former President Barack Obama in a last minute effort to get out the vote. And he joined in on the cringe. So if you haven't seen it, you're going to see it now.
Hey, what are you doing under my desk?
Well, under the desk is kind of my thing. I mean,
but here's the thing. You can stay for now, but when it comes time to voting, you're going to have to get up. Because you can't stay here. You're going to have to take a little bit of time to vote.
Is now a bad time to say that I voted for McCain in 2008?
As long as you voted. It's okay.
Go to iwillvote.com and I will see you at the polls.
Yeah, it's just straight cringe, in my opinion, Marissa. I mean, I think I'm totally won over. This is it. This is the video that's going to make me vote.
No, I can't with Obama. It would have been funnier because when I saw this, all I could think about, hey, what are you doing under my desk saying that from a president is Monica Lewinsky? And I wish that would have been referenced in some way. Because
what if just you see Bill Clinton crawling under?
Something. I was like, it actually like makes me laugh so hard and takes away from what they're trying to do. Because I'm like, who approved this? And wasn't like most of the older people are going to be like,
well, I mean, I think it goes exactly to what you were just saying now, Marissa. I mean, I know that you're, saying that, hey, I get upset when I see these kind of videos because it really seems like our older politicians view us as being dumb. Well, I hate to break it to you. It seems like we are kind of dumb. Even the new Gen Z wave. I mean, we even have one influencer in this New York Times.
They're being treated as dumb.
Well,
I'm sorry. If you treat somebody like they are idiotic, and you continuously treat them like they are idiotic, they will believe they are idiotic.
Well, I'll tell you what's really idiotic was one influencer, Nia Suk. She's 21. She's an actress and creator with over 8.3 million followers on TikTok. She realized, Marissa, that her young followers were confused by the references of midterms in her post, and they thought that she was talking about her UCLA midterm exams. So why are we so ill-educated on civics and the midterm elections in America?
I can say that midterms aren't happening right now, so I could understand a confusion. I can understand it. Doesn't excuse it.
So what are you suggesting? A different date?
No, what I'm suggesting is that they actually have a required civics course like they used to. I got my civics from a Schoolhouse Rock class or song in elementary school, got nothing in high school. And I firmly believe politicians do not want educated youth in their business, because if they did, they might be out of business.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, we know that the average age of people in Congress is 76 years old. If we want real change to happen within our generation, well, first off, you got to go out and vote. And then second, we actually started to see some of our own generational people get into the mix and actually start running for these positions in office. And yeah, Marissa, I think you're bringing up a great point. I mean, I think every school in America needs to go inside the closet, dust off those carded mounted TVs, with the VCR beneath it. And we need to start playing Schoolhouse Rock, because I know that I'm just a bill. I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here waiting on Capitol Hill. Okay, I'm done. We're not doing that no more. But you get the point.
Hey, any of you who don't know, if you haven't seen the bill from Schoolhouse Rock, please go to YouTube right now. It's on there. You will actually learn more about how our government works or doesn't work from that song than you will in any of your classes that you're
because Marissa, I feel like you might be in this same boat. I know, like, my older brother Casey's always talking about with his friends who have kids. They're always so sick of playing Baby Shark all the time. Shit, you might learn something while your kid learns something. So go ahead and play Schoolhouse Rock. I mean, it's always got a lot of the great jams.
There is like over 100 versions of Baby Shark. Sorry, if you were a parent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
how much Baby Shark is out there?
So I think if the American media was right, they would go ahead and create a new modern version of Schoolhouse Rock. I think we have to highly, let's go for it, because I mean, obviously, the youth, the millennials, Gen Z wave. Yeah, were you going to say something, Marissa?
I was, and it was actually about the Obama. I'm just going to backtrack real quickly on that. One thing that drove me absolutely nuts about it is, why did they not bring up the fact that you can mail in your vote? So if you want to stay under a table and be agoraphobic and not leave, you can actually still vote. And
well, again, the funniest part was that host V, who runs his show under the desk. I love how he puts out that big sigh. I gotta get out and move my ass out and go ahead and vote.
This generation has a problem with agoraphobia because a COVID mask. I know more young people who continuously will wear a mask, not because of a health thing, but because they can hide behind it.
Yeah, I would say that's a very tiny number, but then again, we definitely got to move. We definitely got to move on, Marissa, because I definitely want to bring up the fact that, young people are increasingly getting their news and information from content creators on TikTok, surveys show, and the percentage of people who consume news on TikTok has tripled since 2020, and over 26% of adults under 30 regularly get news on TikTok, according to a recent survey by the Pew Research Center. So now, this week, the FCC commissioner, Brandon Carr, wants to ban TikTok. And it's hilarious because all we keep hearing about is how Elon Musk acquiring Twitter is like the new bad thing. Like, he's a prophet with no government. Why do we not put the same focus on TikTok after all these findings that we know about them? I just don't understand how Twitter has become so political.
The TikTok stuff actually really does worry me. It worried me before when it was brought up during Trump's presidency. And now, you have to see, if you're worried about Elon Musk as the owner of Twitter, and this is why you're off, who owns TikTok? It is, and I'm not trying to bash Chinese, so please understand this, but it's owned by China. China and America are not buddies when it comes to our economy. So if you're going to have disinformation, but if you're going to have disinformation being sent, let me tell you who's not going to moderate it. TikTok. Why would they want to moderate it when it's in their favor? I'm sorry, you have to look at the economy of who owns something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we've been pressing, obviously TikTok and also the other company called ByteDance. Mm-hmm. Those are two big things. It's no secret. More than 200 million downloads of TikTok has been inside the United States alone, and the FCC doesn't. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm saying about FCC, but even like. It just came out a report last week that has proven that TikTok has been tracking our high officials, which is probably Obama, because he's on there, right? Or whatever it is, trying to be cool and relevant. China is tracking our high political.
So why aren't we making actions now? Because, the FCC, they can't authorize this. It would have to be a government move. And I started thinking about it, and I could see why millennials like to go on TikTok, because of the fat asses and the big titty women. I mean, sure. I mean, it's just like how we're joking with Drake and 21 Savage. Shit, start a book club inside the strip club. But do you think it's because, Democrats aren't necessarily fighting to remove TikTok because they maybe don't want to give, former President Donald Trump any more ammunition, saying that he was right all along? Because
I actually agree, yeah.
Because remember now, it was an FCC commissioner who got, that was a Republican who got stopped by a Democratic judge. And now this FCC commissioner is a Democrat appointed who's now calling for the ban. So I guess my second follow-up question is, Marissa, because we're kind of playing conspiracy a bit. If Republicans, let's say, for example, get control of the Senate, will we see our government get involved with banning TikTok? Because I want to say, I believe conservatives are clout chasing and they won't actually do anything if they do get the Senate seat.
I think it can go two ways. I think it would depend on, regardless of who's in the Senate. I do not believe that Republicans are going to come in and then just be like, that's right, we're going to go ahead and stick it. If there is anything that bans for TikTok, it'll be because of national security, which is why that report was really big last week, coming out saying that.
But we've had this national security for over like a year now. That's what I'm just saying. It'll be interesting to see if the conservatives actually make a move because, we got Parler, we got Truth Social. A lot of people put a lot of energy into Elon Musk acquiring Twitter. It's just like, I just feel like once Republicans, possibly get control, I see this kind of being swept under the rug.
It could, this is where I kind of disagree. I think that we're going to hear more about it. And I think whether it's Democratic or Republican, right now, we're not hearing anything because especially like they're trying to use that platform.
Well, I guess that's the point that I'm making. It's like
after the midterms, there's a very big possibility it could get
This
banned.
is being heavily pushed this week. And we're not hearing about it. So we're going to have to see what's good. But we got a lot of things that we want to talk about, right, Marissa? I mean, there's a lot of big things. And I know the Supreme Court, the most diverse court in the nation's history, is weighing in on affirmative action that uses race among many factors in seeking a diverse student body on college campuses. And has America outgrown affirmative action? I believe so. I believe in the year 2022. I don't think it's necessary to put more race policies in when, to me, it feels like when you do that, it only creates more racism. How do you feel, Marissa, when it comes to this? I know that you're kind of a scholarly teacher. I mean, I remember at Cal State LA, but even the internships were being affected. I mean, there would be women of color present, in film. And it's like, okay, well, I will never be able to take this canon class if I don't identify as a certain gender or a certain race, or unless if I come out and I check the non-equitable for my gender, I say I'm an intersex, then I'm able to get inside the course.
No, I think it's a hard thing because affirmative action was needed. You needed to use it to break down barriers, opening up doors, integrating, right? We're a segregated country. It was definitely needed. Where we are now within our universities, right? I think the focus can be shifted now from saying, hey, you're this race that you identify with, right? Because you don't even have to look black if you identify as black, right? Which happens with a lot of light-skinned black people, right? That their identification comes from there versus a skin color. But if you're really worried about opportunities, it becomes more of a social-economic. So instead of saying, hey, I'm going to put you in these race-based things and then give you more points, so what happens is off of point base. Right. This is why Harvard's being sued by people, especially by a group of there's
a UC Berkeley kid, Calvin, who's an Asian American who's upset. UNC, North Carolina. Let's go ahead and share those comments, though, real quick, Marissa, because, I mean, this is a very real thing that is being shared across Twitter. And one of the comments was, everyone agrees that affirmative action in the NBA would ruin basketball, and affirmative action in the NFL would ruin football. Turns out affirmative action in engineering and medicine has a similar effect. This should surprise no one. Also, we have a gal here named Vanessa, and she says, I know affirmative action factored into my admission at Harvard Law. And guess what? I wear the badge proudly. I've deserved a chance to be there, and so do many whose parents weren't alums or wealthy upper management. Do they really think affirmative action only has to apply to people who are alums or wealthy upper management?
And that's where the talk now comes from. That's what I'm talking about. It really is about, look, it's a socioeconomic issue more about allowing someone who does not have a connections, does not have the money to get in, to be able to have the same opportunities regardless of race. And I think that that's where our universities now are, is looking not at like, I'm going to let you in over this person because of your race, because it's a point base. And if you are in a certain race category, you have different points. So that is accurate. But instead of saying that, being like, look, here's your social economics. If we want to make this diverse, then it's really bringing in people from a lower income into these universities and not charging out of
that's absolutely right,
rates for
Marissa.
student loans. And I think that's where we're actually heading, and that's what's on the discussion.
I think that's a good
not
point.
Not about keeping Black or brown.
We could go on this forever, and I don't mean to cut you off. I have a lot of more issues that I want to bring up because, this is the Millennial Vote 2022. And I know that just 26 out of 193 countries that agreed last year to step up their climate actions have followed through with more ambitious plans. The world's top 2 polluters are now us, the United States, and China. So India is now looking pretty good and have taken some action, but have not pledged more this year. And the climate negotiations between the both of us, China and the United States, has been frozen for months. So it kind of starts to feel like this whole green revolution is sort of a lie. My whole question that I'd like to discuss with you, Marissa, is it's like, why don't we ever talk about infrastructure as being a positive for climate change? This seems like something that we can act on now. I mean, I was reading a story in the San Francisco Chronicle that was talking about over the summer, they have all this new harmful algae bloom that's happening in the San Francisco Bay. You know why that's happening, CCS family? That's because your poop and pee is siphoning out of these aged old pipes, which is just mind-boggling to me. We have no problem, Marissa, sending $800 million to Ukraine, yet even the Jackson water crisis has still never been touched ever since Obama drank the glass out of the water. I mean, it's ridiculous in my opinion.
Ukraine needs help. People are dying, right? I mean, it's a real thing. But
there's people dying here too from unhealthy water.
It's a war.
You can't even take a shower.
Yeah, it's a war though. But so I'm saying,
yeah, I know, but it's the same thing. No, but also, Marissa, we're the same. We're in an administration, the Biden administration, who pulled out of the war in Iraq to stop being Big Brother. Yet we continue to be Big Brother for Ukraine. And I know that there's a lot of Americans here that are upset that we're not getting any action applied. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to, have a really big worldview on climate change, but these are actions that can happen now here in the States.
Unfortunately, in America, in the States, if you are in an area that is poor and not profitable, you will not have good infrastructure, which is why you had the Flint problem. This is why you have the Jackson water problem, because our political system of helping our country is broken. I agree with you in the sense that we're sending out money, but this is a global world thing. So that's why I'm like, let's try apples and oranges.
Okay, that's fine. If that's your view, that's totally fine. I'm not gonna, hate you for it. But I think about people like Governor Gavin Newsom's plan. He wants to ban the sale of gas-powered vehicles by 2035. And just here in the state of California alone, our power grids continuously kept failing, and we had more routine flex alerts. So why push for more and aggressive Green New Deals when, again, you can upgrade the infrastructure throughout the country? I just don't understand. I mean, there was even a crazy story back in August, where there was a person who was quoted by a consumer to replace his 2012 Chevrolet Volt battery for $30,000. And here's the tweet that was fact-checked by PolitiFact. I mean, this is a 2012 car. If they can't bring down, the electric car prices, forget convincing me to buy one.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, here's my problem with, like, how do we fix the infrastructure, right? How do we go in? There are ways to do it. Do you know how many times I have voted to fix our infrastructure and I pay more taxes? And you know what never happened? Our roads still have potholes. We do not have public transportation. What about that train to Frisco? That had still never happened millions of dollars later, right? So I am now at a point in my life where it says if I have to pay more money in taxes, I'm going to vote no. I'm sorry. I'm struggling so hard to get gas in my car, and the last thing I want to do.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, why get so ambitious with like numerous Green New Deals when we can just focus on the tiny minute stuff?
And if they're going to focus on it, how about they actually focus on it versus taking our tax dollars and buying a new house?
And Marissa, let's go ahead and talk about that focus, because I know one of the biggest things that I want to end the Millennial Vote 2022 is, what is our generation focusing on? A lot of things that I kept seeing, within the last month, going into the midterm elections was really, abortion being a major issue, being debated on both the left and the right. But myself personally, I have to speak for myself. I can't speak for, the millennial generation, but abortion necessarily to me doesn't come across as a huge topic for myself personally. Again, only because I feel like our generation is so progressive. Like we're already behind, protecting women, the women's right to choose. I just feel like
it's a big deal. It's a big deal. We don't have time to really go into it, and I wish we did. It's a big deal. It is a really big deal.
Okay, well, go ahead. You still have time. You got about 30 seconds.
30 seconds is really hard to come into it. I'm going to tell you now, it is a big deal. Regardless of where you are on the line about it, this is a big deal. And to ignore it is shame on you.
Well, I don't think anybody's ignoring it. I never said that I was. I just said I don't think it's a main topic because I think that our millennial generation, including the Gen Z wave, is already progressive. We're already behind it. So that doesn't mean that I'm ignoring the issue. I'm just telling you right now, Marissa, most conversations that get started today is the cost of living, but we have to end it there. Marissa, this has been a lot of fun. But again, Marissa and I, we would both say while we're both on camera, go out and vote. Please go out and vote. It is your civic duty, whether you don't even know your civic education. But all right, listeners, stick around because we got so much left on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. What's good, listeners? Our guest on Strike a Chord, our Variety Magazine's top 10 Brits to watch from Scotland, is dancing on tables live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. So how's it going, Robbie?
It's going well. It's going well. How are you guys?
Hey, we're doing so great, my man. We always love having these across the pond conversations. And let's get right on into it, man, because congrats on the release of Dancing on Tables' debut LP, Color in the Gray. And it's my understanding that this new body of work has been a long time coming, from working with the producer in Nashville to signing with Green Day's longtime manager, Pat Magnarella. So how did this go down?
So we basically, like 2 years ago, we were ready to release our own EP, just self-release it. We've been working with the producer out in Nashville for maybe about a year at this point. And we were about to put out one of the tracks called Letters. We're literally about to announce it the next week. And we just got an email from Pat Magnarella, and you get random emails all the time. So just search the name.
Did you know who Pat Magnarella was when you first got the email?
I didn't, but I quickly did when I Googled his name, and I was like, damn, right.
So what was your first reaction when you see something like that? Because I know if I was, a musician today, and then I out of the blue was like, holy shit, like this was the former longtime partner, manager for Green Day. How the hell did he find my demo and my EP? Was that something that was crossing your mind?
At first, I thought it was like, oh, right, this is a scam, This don't happen out of the blue, but no, it was it was quite good because he had spoken with our producer already, so she kind of got on the phone with us. It was like, look, I've spoken with him, he's a really cool guy. And then the next day we got chatting with him, and he basically just said how he'd been in music all this time, and now he wanted to find new music, and this was his passion, and he'd been at the top level and done all this stuff, but now he actually wanted to basically develop.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie, that's so freaking badass, dude. Because when I think about that, I mean, it might have been a kind of a deja vu moment. Because is it true that Pat Magnarella contacted the band on the same day you got engaged to your fiance?
It was. So that was quite the memorable day.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of crazy. You're probably slapping yourself in the face going, what's real, my wife or this record deal?
Yeah, it was. They don't make days like that very often, I can tell you that.
Awesome.
That is so freaking insane. And I know, as a kid growing up.
What did you post first? That you were engaged or that you got a good record deal?
I did the engaged, and then I was like,
smart man. You live with the wife. Smart man.
Happy wife, good life, baby. We learn from the best, Robbie. But as kids growing up, attending Queen Anne High School, selling out shows in Scotland, touring with the Catfish and the Bottlemen on their UK arena tour, did you ever expect to be in the position that you are in today?
No, to be honest, I think because we have known each other like since school, so we've known each other for years. And when we started the band, the band's probably actually been going in some form for like maybe 8 years, because when we started, it was literally just like, oh, we'll just play covers at school gigs and at friends' parties. And then it just slowly, like, there was no actual moment when we were like, right, let's make this a proper band. It just suddenly, just one day it wasn't a band, and then the next day we're playing the biggest arenas in Scotland. But how did we actually get to this? Like,
well, yeah, because I was seeing online, Robbie, that Dancing on Tables got started when you guys were 17 years old. You guys were actually forced out of your school to actually form a band together, and so you kind of put it together. And then one of your guitarists were like friends with Calvin, and you guys were about to go play your second gig ever in London. And I think he was at Harry Potter World. So it kind of like linked up perfectly. So then you ended up deciding to bring him into band practice, and it just clicked right away because Calvin introduced a lick to you guys. And you're like, man, this kid's pretty badass. I might have to actually go through with this.
Yeah, he originally just came in as you say, as a guitar player. Hamish was at Harry Potter World, which isn't the most rock and roll thing, but it's a thing.
I don't know. I think Harry Potter's pretty rock and roll. I think you're kind of doubting yourself. I think there's a lot of us that would really, really love to show up into the mix. But, when I was reading about you guys and reading about the success of the band, is it true that you guys wrote over 100 songs via Zoom, during the pandemic, or was it something else?
Yeah. So basically, when we got the call about the album deal, and we're like, right, we need to write an album. And we had a bunch of stuff written already, a bunch of stuff released already, but we're like, right, we need it to be, or we wanted it to be all new songs, something brand new for somebody to come in, listen to.
But let me, Robbie, let me stop you there for a second, because, I got to be real honest with you, Robbie. This is not the first time that I've heard bands on Strike a Chord keep telling Marissa and I that, we are, writing over 100 songs during the pandemic. Is that the honest to God truth? Just be real. Did you guys really write 100 songs, or were they like half written songs, or like, hey, this is a cool riff, maybe I'll revisit it later? Or did you literally come up with 100 songs?
They literally did. I promise you.
Wow.
So that's lyrics and music from start to finish.
Yes, some of them would just be voice notes. Some would be like full band demos. Some of them just took half an hour. Some of them we worked on for weeks. But yeah, over 100 in total, which was a nightmare to filter down.
Yeah,
and you had time to like cultivate a romance, let alone a fiance.
I know, and then you have all the time and energy to write 100 songs.
Awesome.
I mean,
yeah,
I love it.
She knew what she was getting herself into already. So it's fine.
I love it, Robbie. And I know your brand new LP, Color in the Gray, has caught the attention of Variety Magazine, naming the band the top 10 Brits to watch, and your music video, So What, leans on the heavy side of the band. And it's my understanding that the song almost didn't make the cut for the record, even when it was everyone's favorite, it was on everybody's favorite list. So like, how does that even happen? If it's everybody's favorite jam, how do you guys just forget about it when you guys are in the recording process?
It's literally because there's like over 100 tracks. We did it, and we literally forgot
that's where the 100 songs come into I got you now.
So we had it down to like 15, 16, and we're going through, and it was like a friend of ours was like, what happened to that song, So What? We're like, oh yeah. So like started playing it. We're like, right, let's start again. This is number one.
That's cool.
Well, I'm loving your friend Paul, because it is one of my favorite tracks, my man. I love it. And Robbie, the music video that will be playing on Strike a Chord is literally So What. And in the chorus, you sing, so what, I miss you just a little. You got me stuck right in the middle of wanting you back and never again. What are we now and what could have been? See how I kind of sing like you right there? I'm going to have to save it for you. You're a lot better than me. But it's kind of fascinating that you sing this in the chorus, because, you recently got married, but you're also singing about a song about, the realization that you would do anything to get back in an old relationship. So explain yourself, young man. Where are you going with this?
So I think, like, when we write, we kind of, there's only you put a bit of yourself in every track, but there's only so much that you can sing about yourself.
Unless you're Taylor Swift.
I'm nice yeah.
So Robbie, if you want to get all 10 tracks on the top 10, just start writing about your exes. Your wife might not necessarily approve, but the Billboard charts will approve. Damn, Marissa, I think you're onto something.
Well, my wife does actually make the music video as well, so.
So that is your wife from the music video.
It is, yeah.
Oh, well, that's a beautiful thing.
We're gonna get an actress. I was like, why get somebody else when I've got all these videos already? So we used it.
I like that.
I had to explain the story and just say it wasn't about her. It's fine. We're happy. It's just the song's sad.
Well, hey, I think I think that's what makes it that much more memorable. And I love this music video. I love the song as well. Robbie, you guys got an amazing debut LP, Color in the Gray. And let's go ahead and show the CCS family what's good. This is Dancing on Tables music video, So What, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show.
I tried it all, but nothing keeps my mind away from you. I laugh it off, meanwhile I'm stuck in a constant daze of all the time we wasted fighting. If I could take it back, then I would. For another moment of smiling, I never said I'm sorry, but I should. So what? I miss you just a little. You got me caught right in the middle. I've won you back, never again. What we are now, and what could it be? So what? I'm freaking out. I'm drinking way too much all by myself. I need you now. You know it's not like me to ask for help. Can't get hold of my emotions. I tried to do what you did, just leave. Ran away across the ocean, but still I see you right here with me. So what? I miss you just a little. You got me caught right in the middle. I've won you back, never again. What we are now, and what could it be? So what? I miss you just a little. It's not your fault, it's not mine either. Don't wanna call, but I want you to be here. Don't wanna overcomplicate it, but my heart it keeps on breaking. It's impossible to shake it. Maybe it's time for me to face it. So what? I miss you just a little. You got me caught right in the middle. I've won you back, never again. What we are now, what could it be? So what? I miss you just a little. You got me caught right in the middle. I've won you back, never again. What we are now, what could it be? So what?
Got to turn on the mic. Yeah, that's what's good. That is a Dancing on Tables, and we got the one and only Robbie with us right now. That is their music video, So What, and you can check it out on their debut LP, Color in the Gray, out now wherever you listen to music. And this is Strike a Chord, where we interview bands from all across the globe. And Robbie, for Color in the Gray, did you record the majority of the new material in Nashville, or was it a mix of both?
It was a mix of both, to be honest, because we've been going over to Nashville maybe like 2-3 times a year for probably about 2 or 3 years, actually. And when we've been over, we've been writing, recording. But then when it came to doing the actual album, there was a couple of tracks that we'd done already. But then over in Nashville, and then for the rest of them, we just kind of locked ourselves away 10 days. Our producer actually FaceTimed in or Zoomed in every morning. I don't know, it was like 3 a.m. her time, she'd log on. I think her husband hated her by the end because she just forgot that it was so early, and it'd be like, right, try the drums like this, bam, bam, bam. So,
yeah, right. So that's kind of fascinating. So you guys already written, music, and then you brought some of it to Nashville. So what are you saying? Did you guys remastered some of the old material?
A couple of the old songs, yeah, basically we just kind of retouched the recordings and kind of based the rest of the album around what we already had, and made it all kind of one big sound. But yeah, it was like 80% here in Scotland and then 20% Nashville.
Nice, because I know, Robbie, it's my understanding that before you guys linked up with Green Day's longtime manager, the band didn't have enough money to send both you and Calvin to record vocals together. I mean, how does that work? Because I know bands like my favorite entourage, Slipknot, were recently bitching about their recent release because of the pandemic, kind of similar to what you guys were going with. And I know Jim Root, the guitarist, was stressing that, it's the importance of recording an album together. So if you had the opportunity to do this again, would you make it work it out, or would you much prefer to get everybody inside the studio for the second LP?
So, but by the time the album came, Callum and I, we were together, which was good. It was right at the start when we were first going. We had to kind of pick, right, okay, it's your turn, right, it's my turn, to go over. But then it wasn't actually until January just there where we finally got to go as a full band, which was, yeah, the big cost as well. But no, we've got a good system, I think, with me and Cal kind of. Was
it worth it though? I think that's the thing I guess I'm getting across, because a lot of times Americans, I don't think they quite understand how much Nashville has become the mecca of the music industry, and to see that a Scotland band like yourself, Dancing on Tables, felt like it was necessary in your point in your career to make the long trek across the pond to go to Nashville. Does that speak any kind of importance of today?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, I don't know about America, but over here, everybody thinks Nashville, thinks country, but it's just becoming the hub of everything.
It's same here in America. They go, Nashville, it's just country, right? It's like, no,
I mean, you're coming from Scotland, a population of 6 million people in your country, and then you find, and recognize the importance of Nashville not just being about country. It literally is becoming the mecca. I think that is totally fascinating. And what are some of those benefits that you received when you showed up to the States?
Well, I think it's, like, for people like us, as you say, Scotland's so small, like the UK is still so small in comparison. So there's only so much you can do. There's only so much space. There's only so many bands that are going to get to places. We're like, why wait with all these people when we can go be the only Scottish band probably in Nashville and take in all these amazing influences and meet all these amazing people. So
I like that mindset.
Yeah, we're like, why wait for it to come to us? We're going to go to it. Like,
I have a question to ask you. When you're in Nashville, did any people find out you're Scottish? Did anybody ever say like they're, I'm also part Scottish and my ancestor
did you bring the kilt?
Is Braveheart? My ancestor is Braveheart. Did you hear that a lot? Because I am an ancestor from Braveheart, supposedly. And I hear everybody's like, I'm Scottish and Braveheart's my ancestor. And I was like, hey, mine too.
Everybody has an auntie or an ancestor or their cousin's dog who's lived in Scotland.
Oh, that is so
for
funny.
such a small place as well. You just
so many Scottish. I'm telling you, we are probably cousins, Robbie, somewhere down the line.
Probably. With only 6 million people in the country, we're probably cousins, Robbie. But let's switch gears, because I'm aware, Robbie, you won BBC's UK quiz show, Pointless. So I need to know, how do I get back to her?
But yeah, Pointless was an amazing experience. I like the link, by the way. I like the link. Yeah, that was it's this like classic like tea time UK TV show, and I applied as a friend as a laugh one night, forgot all about it. And we were actually in the studio and I got this phone call, came back through. I was like, guys, I've been invited onto a TV show on the BBC. Nobody believed me until I posted the photo in the studio.
And you actually won. That's pretty impressive.
But see, I was trying, and you wanted that. Oh, see, I did not know that.
What type of a TV show is it, real quickly?
So basically, you have to give instead of getting the right answer, you have to give an answer that nobody else out of 100 people that they asked guessed.
Oh my God, I'd be so good at that. I would be so good at that. No, I was on a talk show or a game show, and I was so horrible because I gave out the weirdest answers.
Yeah, we don't need to hear about your tenure and your game show debacle all over again.
I want to be on that. That talk show is for me. I love it.
Well, I was trying to make a pun and pun together because I understand that you are the wizard in the quiz game world. But, I'm trying to make a correlation because you guys do have a music video called How Do I Get Back to Her? So that is the quiz trivial question, Robbie. How do I get back to her?
That was the video for itself, when basically, as we said, when we had 100 songs, got back to them. So when we finally got the singles that we wanted on the album, it was like, right, what's going to be the intro? And the intro to How Do I Get Back to Her Feel just like hits you in the face. So we're like, right, that has to be it.
The track definitely hits you in the face, Robbie. But, I was kind of thinking about the song. I thought it was kind of a interesting choice for the intro to the album because I could be wrong. I mean, you tell me, but I kind of view you as the main vocalist in Dancing on Tables. So when you have Calvin introduce the album with him singing first, and then we eventually get a lot of you singing throughout the record, I thought that was kind of a fascinating choice. Is that on purpose, or are we going to start to see more of you guys kind of take the role of being vocalists together when it comes to more future records with Dancing on Tables?
Yeah, I think especially going into that album, we maybe weren't as sure as how we wanted to do it, and it was a lot more kind of splitting up the songs. But in this new stuff that we're doing now, it's basically we're just singing on top of each other all the time. I thought as an intro to the album, because the first line is, I've been trying to figure out how it all went wrong. You've been telling me to write it in a song. I thought as like musicians who just have family members who are fed up with them talking about music all the time, it was a lovely line.
No, I do too, man. It is such a catchy track. I love what you guys are doing. I feel like you guys mix up the genre a whole lot that I think a lot of up and coming bands, they need to look at you guys because your debut LP, Color in the Gray, is a remarkable record. And let's go ahead and show that intro track right now on Strike a Chord. This is Dancing on Tables music video, How Do I Get Back to Her, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show.
I've been trying to figure out where it all went wrong. You've been telling me to write it in a song. I've seen life without you being in the picture. So please take me back, I can't come any quicker. How did we end up in this disaster? When did you take the wheel and leave me stranded? I haven't slept in weeks, too busy thinking about how it sounds when she speaks, and I'm sad and missing all it takes and all the quirks. I'd give it all, give my whole world. So how do I get back to her? The type that thinks they're always right. You told me when you got up and left my life. Now time's passed, but no matter what, I just can't move on. I'm lost in a race I thought I'd already won. How did we end up in this disaster? When did you take the wheel and leave me stranded? And I'm sad and missing all it takes and all the quirks. I'd give it all, but my whole world. So how do I get back to her? I'm sad you're missing politics and all the quirks. I'd give it all, give my whole world. So how do I get back to her?
Yeah, that's what's good. That is Dancing on Tables music video. How do I get back to her? And Robbie, we can't thank you enough for joining Strike a Chord, where we interview amazing artists like yourself all across the globe. And for anybody who is wanting to keep in the loop with Dancing on Tables, where can we follow you on social media?
We're on just all the usual things. Just search Dancing Tables. You'll find us in everything. Instagram and Facebook, a bit more professional. TikTok's a bit sillier. So it depends what kind of content you're after.
Yeah, and go download the record now. And you wouldn't be doing it right if you weren't dancing on a table. I just recommend doing that. But hey, Robbie, you have been so amazing, my friend, and hopefully we can chat in the new year, and much success moving forward, my man.
Yes, thank you,
Thank you so
Robbie.
much. No, thank you. It's been great fun, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. And for everybody that is tuning in right now on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show, stick around because we got so much left right now. Man, that was great. Now we're going into our last segment. It's called What's Good, because we got to lighten up the mood, Marissa. There's been a lot of cucaracha stuff that's been going around across the nation, and I think that there is something here for you, fam. So mimosa lovers can now add their preferred amount of juice to their champagne with the Tropicana's new gadget, the Mimosa Maker. The limited edition device is a 12-ounce spray, which you can see right here. It's got beautiful packaging that spritz just the right amount of juice into your sparkling flute. So I thought this was kind of hilarious because, you always see those jackass millennials who are always trying to get their, the glass and trying to pour the perfect amount of orange juice.
I take offense to this because I literally make my mimosas with the orange juice on the side so I can add the perfect amount.
But I guess I'm learning still. But Marissa, I'm learning something right now. People actually spray orange juice into champagne? This is new to me.
A true delicious mimosa. The orange juice is just for color, honey. It's just for color. It's not actually to water your champagne down.
Dude,
come on
this
now.
would be fucking
Got
hilarious to see at the bar.
I think
they're always doing the squirt shots in your mouth.
My birthday.
Give me a Tropicana mimosa.
My birthday's in 2 weeks. This is what I want for my birthday. Send it to me.
Okay, you got it, fam. You absolutely got it, fam. But let's also share another What's Good moment, because an 8-year-old climber is now in the record books. Sam Baker became the youngest person to reach the summit of El Capitan in California. Yosemite National Park's most iconic vertical rock formation is more than 3,000 feet high. Look at how insane this is.
Sawing logs
this is
here.
absolutely insane. So, Marissa, if we decide to do this together, I like to roll around in my sleep, so my ass ain't falling 1,500 feet like this footage. That was halfway up, Marissa.
Considered child endangerment?
Marissa, no, this is a What's Good. No, this kid is.
I'm sorry, who said
this
kid's
badass
up a damn mountain?
No, Marissa, you're missing the point. This kid's a badass, and we need more kids like that. We got all these sappy kids crying about how they want to make a union out of Starbucks and shit, and this kid's actually making something happen.
I ain't said an 8-year-old. You know what they can go to? The rock climbing gym. Go to the rock climbing gym and you can climb the mountain at 18.
No, that's for a bunch of wussies. That's a bunch of wussies who need chalk and their little, fake shoes that they only bring for a once-a-week occasion. That is a wussy thing.
I'm definitely raising a wussy because Lilac is not climbing no mountain at 8 years old.
That's right, fam. And that is What's Good. And we want to thank everybody who's been joining us on YouTube Live, because if it wasn't for you, the CCS family, this show wouldn't be possible. And we want to give another huge shout out again to Robbie from Dancing on Tables. Go ahead and check out his debut LP, Color in the Gray. It's out now. Variety Magazine's already saying that they're the top 10 Brits to watch. So keep a lookout, follow them on social media, and maybe in 2023, they might make their way into the States. But we also want to let you guys know that Off the Fret, More Music Talk podcast with LA Pop Rockers, Poe the Passenger will be dropping next Friday. It's all for good reason. I know I promised last Friday's show that it was going to be dropping today. That's not the case. We got extra material from the band, and it's going to enhance the visual experience, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. And also, we want to give you guys a guest announcement news. Joining us next Friday is director Zach Cope to discuss his horror film, kind of surrounded around the presence of social media, and it's produced by the creator of the Final Destination franchise. So that's going to be really exciting to discuss next Friday. And follow us on social media by following our handle at Chris Collins Show for more updates on guest announcements, new interviews, and so much more. And if you like what you're listening to, go to thechriscollinsshow.com and become a member today and get that free CCS t-shirt. For now, Marissa and I want to let you guys know, enjoy the weekend, fam. Peace. What's good, party people? Chris Collins Show presents Music Storm 2022, hosted by Chris Collins and Marissa Pitts, featuring Royals, Hurricane Highway, Cannibal Kids, Amanda Cooksey, Astoria State, Kid Dad, Resounding, Sleep Cycles, Avenues, Freckles, Weather Worn, Just True, Sophia Marie, Music Storm 2022. Available wherever you listen to podcasts. Our brand new podcast, Off the Fret.
I love it. It's more time to chat. Hello.
You would look so jazzy. I love your outfit. How far would you go to start playing live music again? This slaps harder than my ex when she got her stimulus check. So, are you here to bring the sexual healing with your music? Everything is everything, and I guarantee you're going to hear this song in the future. I love the flow, man. Politically charged album. So if you get easily offended, this might not be the album for you. Brand new podcast, Off the Fret.
So excited.
Has Kim Kardashian accidentally sent you a coochie shot?
Do you want to stay there? It's completely your choice. Or you want to...
I feel you. And you know what I love? Off the Fret. More music talk. Peace. What's good? It's Chris from the Chris Collins Show Millennial Talk Show, featuring alternative pop rock band Poe the Passenger, amassing over 1 million streams with their debut LP, Alinea, joins Off the Fret. More music talk.